It is Wednesday, my dudes, and time for an old man yapping. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. I saw something yesterday on Tumblr that really kind of hit me where it counts and made me think for a minute. Diane Duane was probably best known for writing a bunch of Star Trek scripts and novels, but has also written a series of novels back in the early 80s about young wizards going to a wizard school. Imagine that shit. 15 years before transphobic bigot cunt decided to write her series of books. Who would have thunk? Maybe look those up and see if they're worth reading. They are. But somebody sent her an ask on Tumblr, which is just an anonymous question. You can ask people questions on Tumblr. And somebody sent her a question and said, hey, how do you deal with the soul-sucking part of writing? And this isn't just about writing, of course. It's about all kinds of art. And there are kind of two things that we talk about in art. There is the creator's curse and the creator's price. And the creator's curse is that no matter what you make, by the time you finish it, your skills will have improved while you were making it. So when you're done with it, you look at it and you immediately recognize that you could have done it better. So you're always dissatisfied with whatever you make, because everything that you finish making, if you started over, you could do a better job. You could always do a better job if you started over. Which kind of sucks. And the creator's price is that in order to finish something that you're making, you have to do a lot of shit that you don't want to do, that you don't like doing, that you might not be good at doing, because it's not done until everything is done. And that's essentially what they were asking about was, how do you deal with the soul-sucking parts of writing? And that's, how do you deal with the creator's price? How do you deal with constantly having to pay the creator's price whenever you do something? Because there are parts of writing and parts of drawing and painting and making music and writing code and literally anything you build. There are parts that you don't like and that you don't want to do, and that it really kind of sucks to be stuck doing. But you have to do them or it's not done. It's like when you finish making your wonderful, amazing video game and you go to put it on Steam. Now you have to build your Steam page. Nobody likes or wants to build a Steam page. Nobody enjoys that. It's not anyone's idea of fun. There's no Steam page simulator on Steam. Is that a good idea? I don't know. I'll file that away. Steam page. How would that game even work? There's a lot of shit on there that makes no sense. I don't know. Anyway, but there's always stuff that you have to do during the process that you don't want to do and that you don't like to do and that you wish you didn't have to do. But you do it anyway because it's not done until you do that. Like you draw your character and you can't just leave your character floating in the void. You have to put some kind of background behind them. And there's all kinds of ways to do that. But you have to do something. You have to do all of the little detailed elements of your painting. You have to go back through your writing and edit the damn thing and make sure you spelled everything right and didn't completely forget about a character you introduced. John Grisham did that once. He wrote some book or other, and there was one chapter talking about a guy who was in the middle of doing, he's some nefarious, villainous type, and then he just never gets mentioned for the rest of the book. And they asked John Grisham in a Q&A, they were like, whatever happened with that guy? And he said, I forgot about him. Somebody's supposed to go through your book and make sure you don't do that. There's supposed to be an editor and a proofreader and a process where they make sure that shit doesn't happen. And if that stuff doesn't, if those people don't do their job, then your work is not as good as it could be. It's not really finished. But the important thing is what Diane said to this person. She said, the way you deal with the soul-sucking parts of your job is to make sure that you do your absolute best to make sure that during the rest of the job, you grow more soul. I mean, that is one of those things that just kind of hits you and you go, that is so goddamn true, and why have I never thought of that before? Why has nobody ever said that before? The only way you can continue doing all of the soul-sucking work of your job is that your soul has to grow back. Something has to heal your soul. Something has to put the soul back into you, or you can't do that. You can't keep doing the shit job that you hate and that sucks the soul right out of you. Something has to put it back. And as artists, as creators, as people who draw and paint and write, whether we're writing books or we're writing code, making music is another thing, just any kind of artistic pursuit. If you're a dancer, if you're a skateboarder, in order to get through the soul-sucking part of the job, something needs to put the soul back into you. Something needs to give you life where the life is being sapped by other things. And I think that comes into play with if you do the draw a box challenge, they say the 50% rule. 50% of your work should be just you doing stuff for enjoyment. Because otherwise it'll suck the soul right out of you. You have to do the stuff you enjoy to grow more soul. And that's the same thing in what I call the ESP method, which is exercise, study, and practice. The ESP stuff and the work itself, those can suck the soul out of you. So you have to be doing stuff that's fun. You have to be enjoying yourself to put the soul back, to grow more soul. If you don't grow more soul, then you're just fucked. And I think that's a very important thing to bear in mind, and I think that's it's something that just kind of hit me, and nobody's ever said it quite that way to me before. And I have 400 people that for some reason actually give a shit what I have to say. So I thought I would pass that along. You have to grow more soul. You have to put the soul back. All of the soul-sucking garbage that you have to put up with, you need to put the soul back or it will kill you. So find the things that put the soul back and make sure you're doing enough of those. Even if it means you can't get, quote-unquote, enough of the other stuff done. Because if you don't keep growing your soul back, you're going to have a bad time. Anyway, that's what I had to say this week. Again, do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And, okay, bye.